So what is a swing? A swing is really just a pendulum. It's an object suspended from an axis. It can move freely backwards and forwards. It's just like the swing that you're probably most familiar with, the swing set. Just like the swing set that you grew up with as a child, and you would get on that swing set, you could pump your legs and cause yourself to swing. Well, in the same way, you can pump your legs and you can cause this kettlebell to swing. And it requires little to no arm strength whatsoever. It really starts from the ground up. You're drawing all that power from the ground up. Your feet, your legs, your quads, and your entire posterior chain and core are doing all the work for you. It's really the shifting of your body and the gentle push from your hips that are providing all of the momentum. Really, your hands and arms are just in control of guiding the trajectory of the kettlebell. So, bear with me. When you're picking up something off the ground, the safest way to do it is to get your center of mass, which is in the center of your body, over your hips, between your heels and your toes. Your center of mass over the center of mass of the object that you're trying to pick up. So in this case, I'm standing directly over the kettlebell, and that's going to force me into a very strong position when I pick it up. My heels are going to stay down, my hips are going to come back, and I'll be able to pick this up. And as I pick it up, notice how I have very good arm-body contact. That transfers that load down through my legs, down to the ground, and I have no lumbar pressure here. Really, the only limiting factor is my grip strength, and that's a good thing. That's going to protect you. If you have anything fail, you want it to be your grip strength and not the strength of your back. And this same rule applies for when you're swinging the kettlebell. Always remember that when the kettlebell is in the weight-bearing phase of the swing, and the weight-bearing phase of the swing is going to be right around here, about 7 o'clock. We call this 7 o'clock. If straight overhead is 12, this is 9. Right about here is 7 o'clock. When that kettlebell's traveling down and it hits 7 o'clock, that's when that kettlebell is doing its best to pull you down to the ground. And for that reason, you're going to want to have good arm-body contact, and you're going to want to counterbalance the kettlebell weight appropriately. So if the kettlebell is only 9 pounds like this one, as long as I have good arm-body contact and I counterbalance the kettlebell weight with the equivalent of 9 pounds my own body weight, I'm nice and safe. My center of mass stays between my heels and my toes so I don't fall over. And I feel the weight where I need to be feeling it, primarily in my legs. The biggest mistake that I see beginners make is when they try to learn how to swing the kettlebell on their own, they swing it up, and they lose arm-body contact. Now, it's okay to lose arm-body contact once the bell is on the way up because it's weightless at that point. I can let go all day long when it's in flight. But when the bell is making the descent, the mistake that they make is they bend over too soon, they lose the arm-body contact, and they put extreme load on the lumbar. This can be mitigated if you keep your body upright, you counterbalance appropriately, and you make sure that you get solid arm-body contact right here, and then you'll feel the load transfer to the legs, and then you can transfer that kettlebell swing into a nice smooth arc into the backswing. Now, to ensure that you have really good arm-body contact, you want to keep the bell nice and high between your legs. If I swing this kettlebell nice and high between my legs, I'll get maximum arm-body contact. If I try to swing it down too low, I'm going to lose all of that arm-body contact there. So, we're going to start with little baby swings here. We're not going to go very high. You're going to only need to use about 5% effort. Take your kettlebell, set it about a foot in front of you. Your feet are going to be about shoulder width apart. Feet are going to stay flat on the ground. You're going to take a nice athletic stance. That means your hips are going to come back, your lumbar is nice and flat, your shoulders are square, your chest is up. Your head's nice and neutral. And your first move is going to be to hike this kettlebell nice and high between your legs. The higher the better. And you're going to want to hike this kettlebell towards the ceiling directly behind you. Once it goes as far as it can go behind you, because this is a pendulum, it's going to go to the top of that hill. All right, if this is like a skateboard ramp, it's going to go to the top of that hill, and it's going to want to turn around on its own and come back down that hill. And you're going to assist it down that hill with your own hips, and you're going to push it up the other side of that hill. All right, and it's going to take very little effort, and we don't want it to go all the way up the hill right now. We want it to stop right about here at 7 o'clock. So very gently, you're going to hike it back. We call this 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock. 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. Practice that a few times. When it feels very fluid and like you're hardly using any effort and not your arms at all, we're going to move on to the middle swing. So instead of using 5% effort, we're going to give it just a little bit more effort, and we're going to start swinging up to 9 o'clock here. Except now, I'm going to want you to swing it up to 9 o'clock, but I'm going to want you to keep it a little bit closer to your body. The reason why we want you to keep it closer to your body is that it's going to take a lot of load off your lumbar when you do that. If you've ever held something heavy, like an Amazon package, well, if you hold it close to your chest, it feels, manageable. But if you hold that Amazon package way out in front of you, well, you feel a lot of strain on your back. Well, the same thing happens when you swing a kettlebell. If I swing this kettlebell way out in front of me, and then it drops and it gets into that weight bearing phase, I'm going to feel a lot of load on my back. But if I can swing it closer to my body, it'll feel much lighter. I'll get better arm body contact, and I'll be able to absorb almost all of that weight with my legs. So it's going to look like this: 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And notice how my elbows are slightly bent and that bell is just floating right in front of me. I can even take my hands off the bell and let it float right in front of me. And you should practice that too. You should become very dexterous with this kettlebell so that you're confident letting go of it. And remember, kettlebells have lifetime warranty. So don't be afraid to drop the kettlebell. Protect yourself at all times. Okay? If you feel like you've misjudged it, it's okay to let it go so that you can come back and try it again later.